Give me a few minutes and I'll show you how to make your life 10 times better. Ever felt like everyone around you is moving ahead while you're stuck in place? Like you're the only one who missed the memo on how to be wildly successful? Well, guess what? You're not stupid and ugly, and you're definitely not alone. This is a pretty common feeling. And if you watch to the end of the video, you'll discover a 3-step formula that guarantees success. Of course, you should never miss that. Social media leads us to assume that everyone is having a fantastic life, earning 6 figures, traveling to Maldives, and drinking delicious coffee all the time. If everyone is having such a fantastic life, then why is everyone moaning about being unsuccessful? Well, let's find out. Picture this. You're scrolling through social media when you see Bob, someone you went to school with, posing in a luxury high-rise condo with floor-to-ceiling windows and a breathtaking skyline view. For a moment, you just stare. How on earth can Bob afford that? You graduated the same year, work in a similar field. So what are they doing right that you're not? The hitch is that appearances are just that, what they represent. Bob might be drowning in rent payments, living paycheck to paycheck, and maxing out credit cards just to maintain that image, but you don't see that. Meanwhile, your modest, reasonably priced apartment with rent well within your means is silently saving you thousands. It's easy to judge success by shiny things, but real financial health is often invisible. Now, let's say you prioritize experiences. You've gone skydiving, traveled to 5 countries, and invested in classes to develop your skills. Then there's your old friend Haroon, dressed in designer clothes, carrying the latest iPhone, and living in a high-end condo. At first glance, Haroon looks richer. But beneath the surface, Haroon is living paycheck to paycheck, with zero savings and mounting debt. The truth? The majority of financial behavior is invisible. Though you might not show off your emergency money or your rising investment portfolio, those decisions are silently increasing your wealth. It's about who has long-term security, not about whose lifestyle is the most flashy. But here's what they don't tell you. Some of the wealthiest, most successful people intentionally avoid looking rich. Why? Because they understand a rule that almost no one talks about. And once you get it, you'll start seeing social media differently forever. Social media functions as a kind of magic show. It displays the glitter without disclosing the adhesive binding it together. Posts about exotic trips, new homes, and sales abound, but you never see the debt, the sacrifices, or the behind-the-scenes work. Take Rebecca Hall, who shares pictures from a luxurious Bali hotel. She skipped rent, maxed up her credit card to pay for the trip, and is now juggling late penalties, which the post does not mention. Social media is not a financial statement. It is rather like a highlight reel. Feeling inadequate is guaranteed by comparing your reality to someone else's well-chosen photos. The comparison game is rigged. Comparing yourself to others is like playing a game where the rules are always changing. Everyone has different starting points, privileges, and challenges. Maybe your friend Jordan had financial support from their family, while you worked 2 jobs through college. Comparing your journey to theirs isn't fair because the context is completely different. Instead, compare yourself to your past self. Are you making progress? Learning more or even saving a little extra? That's what truly matters. If you have made it this far, hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me. Let's continue. The myth of overnight success. We love stories about overnight success, but most of them are just that, stories. Take Sam Altman, the face of OpenAI's explosive rise in 2022. It might seem like he became a tech giant and a millionaire overnight, but what you don't see, he spent years building his expertise, first as a startup founder, then as the president of Y Combinator, before ever stepping into OpenAI's leadership. What about those failed projects and the countless rejections before that lucky break? His success wasn't instant. It was the result of years of compounding effort behind the scenes. Success is often the result of consistent, unseen effort. If you feel behind, it might just be because you're comparing your middle to someone else's highlight ending. But here's the real danger. This cycle doesn't just keep you feeling broke, it keeps you trapped. And if you don't break out of it, you could spend your entire life chasing progress that never truly feels like progress. For example, imagine getting a $10,000 raise with a promotion. Exciting, right? But instead of saving, you upgrade your car, subscribe to premium services, and before you know it, you feel just as financially stretched as before. The key? As your income rises, keep your spending steady. Then watch how fast your savings skyrocket. Focusing on what you lack instead of what you have. It's human nature to focus on gaps rather than gains. For example, you might think, I don't have a house yet, instead of, I've paid off my debt. This mindset shift is powerful. Look at Jake, who constantly compares himself to his rich friends. He feels behind because he doesn't own any property. But when he reflects, he realizes he's debt-free, has a solid emergency fund, and is investing regularly, all signs of financial growth. But here's the real secret, and most people never figure it out. People with money don't show it off. You know what's funny? The people with actual money are often the ones who look like they're about to ask you for directions to the nearest gas station. Seriously, the richer someone is, the less likely they are to be flaunting it on social media like they're auditioning for an episode of Lifestyles of the Rich and the Shameless. I once met this guy in the Bahamas, whose net worth could probably buy every seat at a Taylor Swift concert twice. I expected him to roll up in a luxury car, rocking a watch that costs more than my student loan and maybe even sipping an overpriced latte. Nope. The man showed up in dad jeans held up by pure confidence, a t-shirt that looked like it had survived every family BBQ since 2003, and sneakers that had clearly seen more life than my houseplants. Honestly, if you didn't know better, you'd think he was there to fix the Wi-Fi, not casually own half of downtown real estate. This is where most people give up. But that's exactly why they never win. The mysterious case of low-key wealth. Back in college, I had this classmate, Oscar. He was always disappearing for weekend trips, skiing in the Alps, scuba diving in the Maldives, you name it. But his Instagram, it looked like he lived off instant noodles in a dimly lit dorm room. Just random photos of sunsets, his cat, and maybe a blurry concert shot. One day, I asked a mutual friend, how does Oscar manage all these trips? Is he secretly a time traveler or something? Turns out Oscar's family owned a chain of luxury hotels. The guy was basically living like royalty, but you'd never guess it because he didn't feel the need to prove anything online. When you've got real money, flexing for strangers isn't exactly a priority. Meanwhile, someone with a leased sports car is out here doing full-blown photo shoots in a parking lot, hashtagging blessed. One more problem is comparing yourself to those who seem to have it all might consume you. Nobody is out here surfing Instagram wondering, wow, I'm doing better than Dave, who still can't microwave popcorn without burning it. No one. Don't waste energy resenting tech bros or influencers who somehow get paid to have brunch. Comparison is like eating an entire cake because you're depressed, then feeling even worse because you ate an entire cake. It's a vicious loop. Instead of fixating on career titles like Senior Executive Manager of Synergy, prioritize building real skills. What if I told you there's a 3-step formula that guarantees success, no matter who you are? The internet has convinced you that if you're not a millionaire by 25, you've failed. Like, excuse me. Most people in their 20s are still trying to figure out how to fold a fitted sheet. You see stories about someone turning $500 into $500,000 overnight by investing in crypto or the stock market. But for every person who strikes gold, there are 1,000 others who invested in the same thing and now have emotional support cacti because they lost everything. The truth is, wealth usually comes from boring stuff. Consistent saving, smart investing, and not ordering food delivery every night like you're allergic to cooking. The grass is greener syndrome. It's easy to think someone's life is perfect because they posted a photo sipping coconut water on a beach. But you don't see the full picture. like the fact that they got sunburned so badly they're now a human lobster, or that their hotel Wi-Fi costs $50 a day. You never know what sacrifices people made to get where they are. Maybe that investment banker making six figures hasn't slept properly since 2017. Or even that entrepreneur with a successful business. They probably cried into their cereal multiple times during the startup phase. Success often comes with sacrifices, stress, and an unhealthy amount of caffeine. And let's not forget the silent cheat code, family wealth. Some people aren't rich not because they hustled harder than you, they were just lucky enough to have rich parents. Even Elon Musk inherited wealth from his rich parents. I knew a guy in college who drove a brand new sports car. Everyone thought he was some business genius. Turns out his dad owned half the city. His biggest financial decision was whether to get extra guac at Chipotle. Family wealth can make life look easy, but it doesn't always come with the personal growth that financial struggles often bring. The bottom line. Real wealth isn't loud. The richest people are out there wearing the same jeans they've had for years, while the loudest flexers are often running on empty. Stop measuring your journey against someone else's highlight reel. Focus on your own path, your progress, and hey, maybe even master folding a fitted sheet. That's the real win. Next time comparison creeps in, remind yourself, your timeline is yours, and there's no finish line but the one you set. Go watch the video above, where I share crazy signs you'll get extremely rich, even if it doesn't feel like it. See you in the next one.